Hello and welcome back to the Strategic Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Rosie Vanderloos, clinical psychologist, mindset and performance coach. Last episode, you created your current self snapshot. You have this powerful document listing your strengths, values and sparks of interest. And now you might be staring at it thinking, what if I choose the wrong thing? What if you invest your time and energy and maybe even money into a new direction and only to find it's not for you? What if you tell your friends about it, rearrange your life, and then want to quit? That fear of taking a wrong turn, of wasting effort and disappointing others is one of the most potent dream killers for mothers. It keeps us circling the map forever, too afraid to actually start the journey. Today, we're dismantling that fear with a new navigational tool. This isn't about mustering the courage for giant, irreversible leaps. It's about learning to take imperceptible, risk-free steps. We're trading the pressure of finding your passion for the practice of following your curiosity. In this episode, we're adopting a new mindset. Prototype, not pivot. You're not quitting your life to start a new one. You are a scientist running tiny, risk-free experiments on your own potential. I'll give you the complete curiosity experiment framework, a 4-step process to test any spark from your snapshot without upending your world. We'll walk through a real case study of how a failed experiment wasn't a failure at all, but a breakthrough in precision. And crucially, I'll speak directly to you if you're listening and thinking, but Rosie, I just don't feel curious. I feel flat. I feel empty. We have a dedicated, compassionate protocol for that too. The Curiosity Curation Method, designed to gently reawaken your nervous system from a state of depletion. By the end, you'll know how to schedule a curiosity experiment into your calendar as a protected, low-stakes appointment with your future self. This is how you move from paralysis to purposeful, playful exploration. Let's reframe the goal. You are not an explorer searching for a lost city. You are a cartographer. Your job is to sketch the coastline of a new continent, one small bay at a time. Each experiment is a scouting mission. It's not about commitment, it's about data collection. Here is your 4-step curiosity experiment framework. Step 1, identify a micro-curiosity. Have a look at your snapshot. Pick one spark. Not become a writer, but I used to enjoy writing, or the idea of helping people resonates, or I keep clicking on articles about sustainable homes. That is your micro curiosity. Step 2 is to design a minimum viable experience. So this is the most important step. Ask, what is the smallest, cheapest, fastest way to try this out? We're talking about an experience that costs less than a cup of coffee and takes less than 2 hours. For writing, it could be, I'll write one 500-word blog post just for me in the next 2 weeks. For helping people, you might say, I'll have one informational coffee with someone who works or volunteers in a helping profession and ask them a few questions. The MVE is so small, it's embarrassingly easy. That's the point. You are removing the barrier of effort. Step 3 is to define the learning goal, not the outcome goal. You are not trying to succeed, you are trying to learn. This is where we really put Carol Dweck's growth mindset into play. So we define the learning goal. It could be to enjoy the process of writing when no one is reading over my shoulder, or to learn what it actually feels like to volunteer in the social workspace. Step 4 is to run it and reflect with neutrality. Do the tiny thing. Then, immediately after, ask yourself, did my energy go up or down or stay flat? What did I learn about the activity itself? Was it more or less tedious, complex, or engaging than I thought? And what did I learn about myself? Did I like working alone? Did I like the research phase? This information is neutral. If it felt like draining work, that doesn't mean it's a failure. It's valuable data. It tells you, okay, the execution of this may not be for me, but maybe the core interest is still valid. What other role in this world could align better with me? Let me bring this to life with a client story. Let's call her Alison. Her snapshot showed a spark of interest in family history with a core value of connection. She fell to quiet duty. It was almost an ache. Her children knew next to nothing about their heritage. Her dream was being the family historian, a keeper of stories. But her fear was real. It's too big. I'm not techie. Where would I even start? It feels like a massive project that I will never finish. So together we designed a minimum viable experience. Her MVE was, I'll interview my aunt about her childhood and record it on my phone and make her a digital photo collage as a thank you. Her learning goal was, do I enjoy the deep listening and curation of stories? Or does this whole thing feel like a burdensome obligation? And she did it. The result? She was captivated by the stories, hearing her aunt's voice, the laughter, the details of a world gone by. It was deeply meaningful. Creating the collage felt like a loving act. But the week after, when she thought about transcribing the audio, cleaning up the recording, scanning more photos, she felt a visceral sense of frustration and overwhelm. Her energy plummeted. In the old mindset, this would have been a failure. I guess I'm just not cut out to do this properly. I should just leave it to somebody else. But in the prototype mindset, this was a precision breakthrough. The data was crystal clear. Yes to the core of connecting with loved ones and curating family narratives. No to the complex technical execution that she had assumed was necessary. Her pivot wasn't away from being the family historian, it was towards a better fit for her skills and energy. She's now prototyping a simpler, ongoing practice, a beautiful handwritten journal, and after each conversation with a relative, she writes down the stories in her own words, maybe adding a pressed flower or a small photo. It's tactile, simple, and feels like a loving ritual. The dream isn't dead, it's evolved into something sustainable and deeply personal. The experiment didn't kill her spark, it refined the fuel. It showed her how to be the historian she wanted to be in a way that brought joy, not friction. Her niece actually offered to turn the journal into a photo book for the family. So they kept the handwritten stories and added photos and were able to produce one for each member of the extended family. Now, I need to speak directly to you if you're listening and thinking, Rosie, I hear you, but I just don't feel curious. I feel flat. The idea of a micro experiment feels like a mountain. And if that's you, please hear this. This is not a character flaw. It's a neurological and energetic state. Your brain's reward system needs gentle reactivation. We start by moving from finding curiosity to curating it. Here are 3 strategies. They're separate doors into the same room. Pick one that feels the most doable or try them all. So door 1 is the interest and energy audit. This is your baseline mission. For 3 days, your only job is to notice. Carry a notepad, spot one tiny thing each day that causes a flicker of interest. We're talking a 0.5 on a scale of -10 to +10. A colour, a snippet of a podcast, a steam from your tea. This isn't about doing, it's about collecting data on what your nervous system quietly responds to. Door number 2 is the dopamine menu. The idea of a dopamine menu is a fantastic practical tool that's built on the foundation of neuroscience from experts like Dr. Andrew Huberman. It's basically a user-friendly map to your brain's reward system. Think of it this way. Right now, when you're feeling flat, your brain might be trying to order takeaway from the same greasy, unsatisfying place every night, like mindless scrolling and getting lost on YouTube or Netflix. We need to give your mind a better, more nourishing menu to choose from. So you create your own personal menu with different courses for different needs. So we have the appetizers. These are your tiny, immediate brain snacks. They're the 1 to 5 minute activities that give you a quick, clean hit of, okay, that felt good. Step outside for a few minutes of direct sunlight. Smell the coffee beans. Do 3 big stretches. It's like resetting your nervous system with the palate cleanser. Next, we have the main courses. These are your sustaining meals. They take a bit more planning and time, but they leave you genuinely nourished and satisfied. The kind of activity where you lose track of time. A proper workout, getting lost in a book, losing yourself in a hobby. This is the deep, slow burn dopamine that builds resilience. The sides. These are your pairing strategies. They're like combining a necessary but boring task like folding the laundry with a small pleasure like a great podcast. It's not about multitasking, it's about making the essential maintenance of life more palatable for your brain. I did this when I was learning how to run longer distances training for a marathon. I really disliked long distance running, but I also really wanted to build self-discipline. So in order to make it a little bit easier for myself, I got really good audiobooks and I would listen to them while I was running, and I would not let myself listen to them any time other than running. The desserts. So these are the ones we enjoy mindfully. Let's be real, we all have these, the quick, indulgent hits, social media, Netflix, online shopping. They're not bad, but like actual dessert, they're best enjoyed consciously and in moderation. The key is not to let them become the only thing you're feeding your brain, because they often lead to a major sugar crash for your mood. The power isn't in the perfect list. It's in the act of curation. You're telling your brain, we have options. We're not at the mercy of the easiest, shiniest distraction. Create a list titled My Dopamine Menu. Commit to one item from this menu once a day. You're not doing this to feel good. You're running a physiological experiment. When I do X, what happens? You are manually reminding your brain what safe, mild engagement feels like. So door number 3 is the curiosity conduit. We're borrowing a spark. When your own curiosity feels blank, borrow someone else's. Text a friend. What's the most interesting thing you've come across this week? Go to a museum and stand in front of something and just ask yourself, what's the story here? Watch a documentary. Your job is to find one thing that makes you think, that's interesting. After trying these strategies for a few days, revisit the idea of the micro-experiment, but scale it down to its absolute essence. Can I spend 10 minutes passively engaging in the one thing I noticed? Watch one short video, read one article. You're not climbing a mountain, you're tending to the most fragile green shoots of your interest. The goal is activation, not achievement. For those whose children have recently moved out of home, or maybe not so recently, there is a profoundly important reason why you might be feeling this flatness, this inability to connect with curiosity. And we've got to name it because society often just rushes past it. Grief. When we talk about children growing up and gaining independence, we often code it in celebratory language like, you get your freedom back, it's your turn. And while that can be true, it often glosses over the seismic loss that is also occurring. You are losing the daily, physical, all-encompassing role of hands-on mother, the role you've played for the best part of 2 decades or more. The constant purpose, the noise, the mess, the need for you. That loss is real. It's the loss of a relationship as it was. It's the loss of an identity that, while exhausting, was also deeply meaningful and structured your world. This grief is often disenfranchised. There's no funeral service, no socially sanctioned time off work, there's no casseroles delivered. People expect you to be happy, liberated. So you might swallow the sadness and gradually this turns into background flatness, this numbness that feels like a lack of passion. If this resonates, please know your grief is not a blockage on your path to your new self. It's the ground on which the new self will be built. You can't architect a new chapter by pretending the previous one didn't matter immensely. Give yourself time. Don't try to fix it. Just allow the truth of the loss to take up the space. This isn't wallowing, it's making the implicit explicit. When you acknowledge the big feelings, many of us worry that it will make us feel more deeply, and that's scary. But in fact, we name it to tame it. Pushing back or fighting against big feelings like grief actually does the opposite, which leads me to a crucial, non-negotiable note. As a psychologist, I must highlight what's often left out: your physical health. What looks like a loss of motivation can be your body signaling it needs support. Two major overlooked factors for women in our stage of life are thyroid function. An underactive thyroid mimics profound burnout, fatigue and brain fog, low mood, and an overactive thyroid can look like anxiety. Secondly, perimenopause and menopause. Hormonal shifts directly impact your brain's chemistry, sleep, energy, causing anxiety, flatness, and brain fog. So your action step here is physiological. If you've felt constantly flat and fatigued, please see your doctor for a full checkup, including iron, thyroid, and hormone levels. So many times I've been working with women who are exhausted, reporting low mood, difficulty sleeping, and once they consult their doctor, there's an underlying medical condition that talking or coaching just cannot fix. You would encourage your kids to do it, so please do this for yourself. Think of this not as a derailment, but as an essential foundation. You cannot architect a vibrant next chapter on a depleted physiological foundation. This is a strategic self-honoring, which you are modeling for your own children. So now you hold two powerful tools: your current self snapshot from the last episode and today's curiosity compass. The snapshot gives you the what, your strengths, values, and interests. The curiosity compass gives you the how, a fail-proof process to test, learn, and evolve without risk. So let's recap. We prototype, not pivot. Use the curiosity experiment framework to test your sparks in a low-risk way. If you're feeling flat, curate, don't force. Use the curiosity curation protocol and honor grief if it's present to gently reawaken your system. Honor your biology. A medical checkup is the non-negotiable foundation for sustainable energy. Your mission this week is to design one minimum viable experience. Pick one spark from your snapshot. Define one tiny action and the learning goal. That's it. Just design it. This act of design is itself the first crucial experiment in trusting your own curiosity. Share this with a friend who's afraid of the wrong turn or is feeling lost in this next chapter of her life. To your curious and courageous legacy.